G'day guys, this is your Admiral speaking and welcome to today's video. First of all, I just want to apologise for taking so long getting this video out. Life just seems to get in the way sometimes, and finding a quiet 10 minutes to myself to record this has proven somewhat tricky. Anyway, today's video is a slightly shorter one in the Warspite, and I'm showing this video today for two reasons. You might remember from the last video I mentioned the aiming reticule that I used, and the fact that I use it with a spotter plane, so you're going to see some examples with this today. And also the Royal Navy battleships have finally been teased, and the internet's kind of gone into meltdown over them. They have been very long awaited for introduction into this game, the Royal Navy being the oldest modern navy in existence, formed by Henry VIII in the 1600s. Correction, 1500s. Anyway, on with today's video. We are in the Warspite, we are on the map Strait, and we have spawned up near Alpha. I launched my spotter plane immediately, and you can see here how I use the aiming reticule, all the lines stemming out from the center, and I kind of overshoot a little bit there. It's rather annoying. But anyway, the lines stemming out from the center, it makes it easier to line the ships up on those. It takes a little bit of the guesswork out of what you're doing. That Furutak is going to take a couple of those torpedoes, I think. There's one, two, yep, he slowed right down. So I'll just aim a little bit shorter than what I normally would. Shots out. And we'll see what happens. And, yep. Citadel straight away, love it. Take some fire from the Fuso. Now the AO on the Warspite's not great, but it doesn't stop me from at least selecting a priority target on those torpedo bombers. The good thing about the Warspite is that it has quite a good turning circle. And if you're up against tier 4 or 5 carriers that don't have the manual drop, you can actually turn inside the torpedoes very easily. The Warspite does wash off a lot of speed in the turn and forms a nice tight circle. The downside is getting back up to speed again, because it does take a long time to accelerate. Anyway, for the time being, we're just going to continue to fire on that Fuso. And my spotter plane is now landed, so some shots out there. And yeah, okay, damage, not great. So anyway, on this map, if you're capturing 3 points, you want to try and avoid moving into the center unless you're a super stealthy destroyer. If you move into the center and anything else, you're just going to get focus fired really easily. Normally your best bet is to move towards the edge of the map on either Alpha or Charlie, and just try and engage the enemy in your half rather than trying to take on both sides. Now I'm moving up here towards the island, and I want to try and use that for cover. My secondary range on this is about 6.3 kilometers because I am using AFT and also secondary flags. And I don't want to show too much broadside, so I'm just going to continue to try and take out this carrier, because it means that then I don't have to worry about its planes. I know there's an enemy Minakaze out there as well, and yep, he just pops up. And I know he's going to have fired torpedoes at me at this point, but I just want to hold my course for the moment. I don't want to show a broadside to that Fuso or even the Bayern, because they will punish you, especially the Fuso with all those guns that it has, 12 or 14 inch guns. And yep, there's a torpedo warning. Just hold my nerve a little bit. Yep. Missed, shot out at the carrier, take out the carrier, and now we can duck behind the island safely. So that Bayern's showing a nice big broadside. so I'm going to take a shot at that. Very difficult ship to try and citadel the Bayern due to the turtleback armor that each of the battleships have around their citadel. Still get some decent damage out of it though. That Fuso is too far angled for me to take a shot with armor piercing, so I'm just going to continue to focus on the Bayern. I know that enemy Minakaze is still out there somewhere, however I think I might be out of his torpedo range by now. I'll just keep up the shots on the Bayern. That Fuso looks like he's stopped in the water. I think he's AFK. So now, sure, I could. There's the second enemy carrier coming to the north. I have no idea what he's doing. Now I could try to rack up some free damage on the Fuso. However, the Bayern is the bigger threat, so I'm just going to continue to fire at him. If there was nothing else in range, then yep, by all means shoot at an AFK ship, or if you've got HE loaded, at least try and set a fire so you can rack up the dot damage. But if he's not doing anything, don't bother shooting at it, especially if there's something that's a bigger threat in range. Now that carrier is going to pop out and he's going to show a fairly decent broadside. So just go try and judge the speed here. Spread the shots out slightly. And yep, nice big citadel, and you can see there our friendly torpedo bombers are going in, and they should be able to get that kill secure. Just like that, and that's the end of the game. So yeah, very quick one today. Not a huge amount of damage done, but it was more just to showcase the aiming reticule more than anything else. 63,000 damage, completed a couple of the tasks, and yep, top scored for our team with first blood. Under the detail report, almost 500,000 potential damage. All the damage to enemy ships done by the main battery. Almost 63,000 points of damage. No secondaries, no fires. Didn't get close enough for anything else. Did shoot down 4 planes. As I said, the AA on the Warspite is not great, but it can do the job sometimes. 135,000 credits earned and almost 4,500 Commander XP, which will be very useful. Anyway, on to my recommended build that I use. So, reduce crit chance on main armament, extended AA range, damage control 1, reduce chance of flood and fire, and steering gear mod 2 for faster rudder shift. For my commander skills, preventative maintenance, expert marksman, you want that extra turret traverse, basic and advanced firing training. Not only buffs your secondaries, but also your AA as well. Then you want concealment expert, followed by superintendent, and then adrenaline rush after that. So a very generic sort of battleship build on this one. Would also work really well with the hood, which I don't have. We're yet to see what flavor the Royal Navy battleships are going to be. So the path I'm choosing for this commander, I would say, is a fairly safe one. Anyway, on to the aiming reticule and where to find it. So go into the menu, into settings, controls, and you'll see here, select crosshair, click on that, and this screen here will pop up. So you got a choice between static and dynamic. Dynamic, you can zoom in and out, and it kind of keeps the scale the same, so you're not having, if you need to zoom out slightly in order to see a target, you don't have to guess again. But this is the one I use. The Type 9 gives me a pretty good fidelity against the background, but you can see there, you just click through and have a look at all the different ones that are available, like so. There's a rather bright one there. You'll be able to see it against anything. But look, just have a click through, have a look at all the different backgrounds that you'd likely use it against, just to see how it's going to look against them all. Yeah, red on red is not particularly good, but you can still see basically where you're aiming with this one. A little bit better there. But just have a play and work out what's best for you. That's all I can really say. It's all very well for people to make these recommendations, but at the end of the day, finding what works for you is probably the best thing you can do. Anyway guys, that concludes today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I will try not to wait so long before I get the next video out. I hope you enjoyed today's video and got something out of it. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all again later. Ciao.